I've gone from skin and bones and living with mice to earning $90,000 in 2024. A few years ago, I was virtually homeless, living in an old camper. I only had a few dollars to my name, but now I am living proof that the law of assumption works. Now, if you're anything like I was, you believe this stuff works, but you can't get it to work quickly or consistently. Years ago, I was in the same place, but I wanted to put manifestation to the test. So I quit my job, got rid of nearly everything I owned, and bought a tent. All I had was a few $1,000s, my car, my dog, and a burning curiosity: what would happen if I got rid of all of my safety nets? So the beginning of my journey without any safety nets led me here. But living in that tent, I quickly realized how quickly money disappears when you have no income. So I fell back on what I knew: scripting, affirmations, visualizations, and guided meditation. And what I noticed is despite my effort, my bank account kept getting smaller and smaller. But I ended up selling my car and moving out of my tent and into a van. Now this did stretch out my money a little bit longer, but soon I was down to my last $300 and I found myself at a crossroads. I could either give in to the traditional work, retire, expire mindset, or go all in on manifestation. And I chose to go all in. I decided to win the lottery. But as my money ran out, I had to move out of my van and onto my father's property. And I ended up living in something that looked like this, only a little older and a little more leaky. Now, the relationship I had with my father wasn't ideal, and neither was the old leaky camper filled with mice. But it was there, living on rice and tuna, that I discovered the teachings of Neville Goddard and a mentor who changed everything. I spent my last $100 on his course, leaving me with 10 cents to my name and a few meals. But that one decision marked the beginning of my transformation. And one of the first lessons I learned was this: wealth, health, love, and success don't come from external sources. They come from within. Not that I'd never heard this before, but rather than writing down 111 affirmations and then waiting for my desires to come, I learned to take control of my imagination and my internal experience here and now. I've gone from skin and bones and living with mice to earning $90,000 in 2024. Now in 2025, I'm able to do YouTube full time, sharing what I've learned to help people transform their lives. So now I'll share the exact steps I took to go from rock bottom to living life on my own terms. So whether you're struggling right now or just want to take your manifestation skills to the next level, this video is for you. So during my time in that old camper, I relied on 3 powerful techniques to remain in my desired state of being. These are revision, I remember when, and doesn't mean anything. So we'll start with revision, and revision is a technique by Neville Goddard where you reimagine past events as you wish they had happened. By doing this, you shift your state of being, your inner feelings, and the assumptions you have about yourself and of life. So when I was nearly out of food, I used revision to shift my state and keep me out of falling into despair. I had spent the remainder of my money on a course, so I had to ration my food to 1 meal a day until I got paid. So what this meant is I would have a cup of water for breakfast, coffee from the break room during the day to give me enough energy to finish the workday, and for dinner I would have rice and tuna. Every morning I would revise my cup of water into a full meal. I would imagine eggs, toast, sausage, hash browns. I would imagine the tastes and the smells, and I would imagine how I would feel after eating. Now obviously this didn't fill my belly, but it kept my spirits up and it helped me stay in the state of someone who had enough. But staying in my desired state required more than just revising the past. It also meant reimagining my present. And this is where the next technique comes in: I remember when. This technique is powerful because it helps you remember your current challenges from your desired state. For example, while living in that camper, I would think and feel to myself, I remember when I had to wipe mouse poop off the counter every morning, but now I'm living in a place that I love with a chill landlord and cheap rent. And I ended up with exactly that. I was living near a small town with a nearly non-existent rental market, and any places that were available were either very overpriced or didn't allow dogs or both. But through a random conversation with a coworker, I ended up finding a cheap place that allowed dogs. Not only that, but the lady who managed the property was very chill. She let me pay the first month's rent and both the damage and pet deposit over the course of a few weeks, so that I would have money left over for food and utilities. So using I Remember When helped me see my current challenges from my desired future. But what happens when something in the present tries to knock you out of that state? That's where the third technique, "It doesn't mean anything" became my lifeline. So this technique is about managing your state despite external challenges. For example, if you're manifesting wealth and you see something on the news about the economy failing, remind yourself, this doesn't mean anything. And by staying faithful to your assumptions, you prevent external events from knocking you out of your state. So when I finally got my first paycheck and I was finally able to buy some food, I ended up with some sort of toothache in one of my wisdom teeth. It was so painful I could barely open my mouth to eat. And with this happening in the situation I was in, it would have been really easy to falter in my assumption. A quick Google search told me that the only solution was to get my wisdom teeth removed, but I didn't have the thousands of dollars I would need for that to happen. So instead, I placed my faith in my imagination and I used "it doesn't mean anything." And within a couple days, I was able to open my mouth like normal and eat without any pain. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner state, and by changing your assumptions and remaining faithful to them, you can transform your reality. So no matter what's happening around you, stay faithful to your assumptions. When you do, the world will rearrange itself to match your inner reality. You have the power to create the life you desire. If this video resonates with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, you are the creator of your reality, but it's up to you to be the divine creator that you came here to be. But that's all for now. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.